see already, everything is on the table again. We are going to make a new DIY. We're going to use the tumbling tile blocks, the smaller ones. I have here my container with everything inside, some scissors, markers, brushes, some mud pots, some twine, and of course don't forget the wood glue. Of course I use the very cheap brand wood glue Pattex, but of course choose anything you like. I have here some paint. The only thing what we need extra is of course a Christmas ball. Like this one. This, I don't know what size it is. I think it will be 20 centimeters. If I'm correctly, he will be 20 centimeters. But of course you can do it a little bigger or smaller. I have here my saucer with an old piece of kitchen towel which is wet to wipe away the glue. These are a little bit of the main pieces we need for this DIY, and of course you can decorate it any way you like. So this is, and let's start this DIY. So we're going to start with step 1, and that is 2 rows of 7 and 2 rows of 8. So 2 of 7, 2 of 8. What we're going to do, we lay them flat on the table and we do the smallest line, we do some glue and we just row them easily together like this. And of course we are going to first make a kind of a stand for our Christmas ball, but I want to make it kind like a centerpiece and something unique you don't see everywhere. So we're going to do our best to make it unique, and you can make it of course any way you like. Now we're going to do the 2 rows of 8. Very easy. Just on the smallest line you do some glue. Number 8 is to close you up. And let me know in the comments if you are also decorating with Christmas balls or maybe with something else. What's your theme for this year? Maybe you like Grinch, maybe you like just Santas in different kind of shapes, or maybe you collect them. I would love to know if you are also collecting things for Christmas. I am collecting everything. It doesn't matter. If as long as it's Christmas, it's fine. But I'm a little bit crazy though, so don't mind me. But I would love to know how your theme for this year will be. So I hope you will let me know in the comments down below. Of course, now everything is glued together like this, and I'm going to get my piece of kitchen towel and I'm wiping away the glue which is coming out. And here the same. And now afterwards, always go back and make sure that you have a straight line, unless you have a carpenter square, then it's fine. So I'm going to let it dry in for only a couple of minutes. So we didn't wait a couple of minutes. I waited a little longer because we're going to make a kind of a square out of it. So wait a little bit longer than a couple of minutes. I have here my 2 longer sizes, which are the 2 of 8. I'm going to get the 2 of 7. Place this way, the 2 of 8 this way, and here 7, 7, 8, 8. What I'm going to do, I'm going to do some glue on the one side of the 7, on the other side of the 7 one on the smallest line, place it down. I do here the same. And of course it's not totally dry yet, so just be careful a little. And I'm going to do this one over here and this one over here, and we're closing it up with the other one. And this way we're going to give it a little bit of pressure, not too much, only on the sides. I have to be sure that everything is fitting nicely before we're going to squeeze too much. And again, give it some pressure and give it some pressure over here and here, and then we're going to let it dry in for at least a half hour. So the next step of our box will be the bottom, and the bottom I hope I can do it with 3 rows of 9. I measured out my Christmas ball. My Christmas ball is not 20 centimeters. I'm really bad in sizes. He is 14 centimeters, so he's not 20. If you have just a Christmas ball like 14 centimeters, you are fit to go to make the same, because we are going to make kind of a balloon, but of course with a twist. Like I always say, we just start. I never know how it will turn out. We will see. But from tumbling tile blocks, you never know how it works out. So we will see. There's 3 rows of 9, and then I hope that I have my box on top of here. So, but I always say make sure that you have 4 until 5 packages of the tumbling tower blocks laying around. Then you have always enough for the DIYs. And of course, on Pinterest, you find lots and lots of balloons you can make, but from tumbling tower blocks, I didn't find them here. So I'm going to make my own and we will see how this will turn out. And I want to make it, of course, easy so we all can make it. So I hope you join me and you are also making this one for, but of course, fitting for your own decor, because not everyone has the same taste. And the last one, and we're going to squeeze from within to the outside like this, and then we're going to squeeze a little harder. We do from the inside to the outside, and again squeeze, and here the same. And we are going to give it some pressure, and we're going to wipe away the glue, and then we go back to make sure that we have them in a straight line. And then we're going to give it a couple of minutes drying. So we did give it a couple of minutes. Place carefully 2 on the side because they are not totally dry yet. If you're going to do it with hot glue, I don't recommend, especially this one, not with hot glue, because, or else maybe you have hot glue with wood glue inside, then it's totally fine, of course. But I don't want that you are disappointed that it falls out of each other. That's not what you want. So I'm going to turn it, gently squeeze on the sides and fill in the open gaps. Make sure that you also feel on the side that you have a nice square. Over here, wipe away the glue, and we're going to let this dry in for at least, I think 10 minutes before we're going to glue our box on top. So I did wait 10 minutes, and now I'm going to do carefully my box on the top. We're going to do some glue around it. Over here we go around and around, and on a little bit on the inside of the box, that the most glue will fall on the inside of the box. So we're going to carefully place it this way and on top of here, and feel with your fingers and look on all sides if you have it in the middle before you're going to press it down. And then we're going to give it some pressure this way. And I think I need to go a little to that side, not too much. And again, give it some pressure. That's the great about wood glue. You still can redo it as much as you like, so that's always nice. Over here. And now we're going to get my brush, my smallest one, this one. Oh, here you are. And we're going to get our towel, make it a little wet, and go to the sides and wipe away the glue which is sticking out on the outside, and of course also on the inside. So just, if you are looking, you can see it very easy. So you see, you get lots of glue out of it, and that's not what you want. It has to glue nicely, and you're always going for a high-end look. Even when you make it yourself, it's always important that you give it some attention, and it looks also nice in your decor. So, and again, we're going to place this aside and let it dry in for at least also a half hour. We are going to make now the sides, and of course you can, my intention was to place the stands on the side here, but then my Christmas ball was falling in, and I was thinking, how is that possible? Because when I place it on here, he is fitting on top of here. So this was strange, but of course, it's early in the morning. Of course, I don't have to place them over here on the corners, but they have to be here and here. And then he is fitting nicely later on top of our little box. So we're going to place this aside, and we're going to make the stands. And the next step will be, we're going to make our balls. We can place later our balloon on top of our Christmas ball. We have here 16 pieces of 2. 16 pieces of 2. So what we're going to do, we do some glue in the middle, place it on top, glue over here, place it on top. Glue over here, place it on top. Here the same, you place it on top. And over here, and if everything is correctly, you have in a moment, you have 16 pieces like this. For all the 4 sides, you have one pole of 4 blocks high. And over here, and this one will be over here, and this one here, this one over here. I have to need to do a little bit more here because he has to carry the weight of our Christmas ball, and he will be of course also decorated, so he has a little bit of weight, so that's why I do it also double. Normally I would say do 1 block, but that's why I do a double. So we're going to squeeze them, place it aside, squeeze it like this, place them on the side and squeeze, place it on the side and squeeze. And so we're going to do all of them because we want to be that they are really sturdy, because it doesn't we don't want that it falls down. This is especially also why I told you don't use the hot glue for at least for this piece of the DIY, because you don't want that your Christmas ball or balloon is falling through the poles. So again, like this, squeeze it, and this one, squeeze, and the last. And we're going to let it dry in for at least a couple of minutes. So you see already, now we have our 16 pieces of 2. We are going to place them down, and this way, and this way, and this way. We place this one a little on the side. So we are going to do some glue on the tops over here, and make sure that you have the glue enough because it needs to hold a lot of pressure. And the last one, and we're going to place it this way and squeeze it together like this. And of course, take your time for it, place it on the side, wipe away the glue every time, work a little bit with it before you're going to let it dry in totally, because you want that this one is very sturdy. So this is already one. I will do the rest a little faster. So in the meantime, while our poles are drying, we are going to get our box, because we're going to get a little bit of extra layer inside. We just take 1 block, we do some glue on this side and on the underside, because then we give more sturdiness to our poles. So we have here the 1 of 7. That's very easy. The middle is of course 3 here, 3 here, and this one is open. And we're going to place this one and like this against the side. So very easy. Just place it this way. I will show it to you a little bit closer. Oh, here you are. You see, he is a little of extra over here, of course, not here, there. I see it in different way than you see it. So I'm going to place one on the opposite direction also. Again, we do some on the underside and on this side. And we place it, of course, also over here in the half of the 7. And for the blocks of 8 is of course 4 pieces, 4 over here, and you place it exactly in the middle. So you do some glue here and on the underside, and you place it in the middle. And you do here the same on this side, and then you place this one of course also in the middle. So now you have some extra sturdiness where you can later place your poles on top. So if everything is correctly, you have now this on the inside. So very easy to do. So before we go further with our ball and decorate it, of course we need to glue our poles on top of here, because they need to dry at least for 1.5 hours, 2 hours at least. So if everything is correctly, you can easily place this one on top of here, and it's fitting in nicely. Not if you let it fall down like I do. So I'm going to do some glue. Of course I can do it also over here. Place it over here. Make sure that your pole is on top, and that he is fitting nicely on here. Feel with your fingers that you have a nice straight line, because you don't want that it is a not nice side. Of course, we are going to do some glue over here, and we place this one on top of here. And again, we're going to make sure that we have it fitting nicely over here. Feel with your fingers that you have it glued together before you're going to let it dry, because if it is drying, it's very difficult to get it out of there again. I have to be sure if I have the same side. No, this one is flatter. Always look also on the one of the side of the balls which one is the flattest, because I hope I say that right, because you don't want that it is standing crooked on top of your box. And again, feel with your fingers like this, and you see already this one is not standing very nicely. I don't know why. I really have no idea. I feel with my finger and he is flat, so I don't even know why he is not fitting nicely. I have to look for, maybe if I turn it, is that better? Yes, if I turn it, it's much better. So I have to go, yes, this way, and I'm doing a little extra glue. So that's also DIY. I also show you what is not going right, because nothing is always going right, at least not in my DIYs. They do. I always am envious on people who is doing it so perfectly. I'm really a clumsy, but but it doesn't matter. Only when you see how it is done, that's the most important. Then you can choose for yourself how you want to do it. So again, the last one, and then we can really let it dry in. Of course, this one has to squeeze it. And over here, I have to feel with my finger so I have it in the line I need. And this way I'm going to give it some pressure. And then we're going to wipe away the glue, and then we're going to let it dry, like I told you, at least 1.5 hours. But be sure that you have everything fitting nicely on top of here. So you see already, I have on my table my half wooden balls. You also can make little rounds of cardboard, so you don't have to use wooden rounds. I have here my bag with different sizes of my half wooden rounds, and I'm just going to measure out. I want to have on each ball, I want to have one of the little half wooden rounds like this one. But you also, like I told you, you can do something different on the top, maybe some stone, a gem maybe you can use if you are more like a glam person. So I'm going to choose out some sizes which I want to paint in different colors. So I'm going to look for them, but do whatever you think it's right to decorate your Christmas ball. So again, I have now my sizes, at least for the sizes for the Christmas ball. I have here my duct tape, and of course, Patty, I don't forget it. The last time, of course, someone else painted my little balls, but this time I am all alone here. So I have to do it myself. So I'm going to do, oh, you see already, a piece of my tape like this. I'm going to turn it over, place it down like this, and we're going to glue it on top of our mat. And that's very easy. I'm just going to try to get off of my tape. Of course, what you also can do, you can do it this way, just glue it over here and then fold this one to the inside. It's also fine too. That's what you also can do, but you can also do a little tape over here. So I'm going to do a couple of them to be sure that I have everything fitting nicely on my table. And you see already on the table, I have my little half wooden beads glued on the table. I have my colors green, brown and red. I'm going to do the bigger ones red, I do the smaller ones brown, and in between I'm going to do green. So of course, I won't bore you with that, so I take my time for it, and I'm just going to paint all of them in the colors which are needed. So I have now my wooden balls colored, of course half wooden rounds. I'm going to let them dry. I'm going to now color my Christmas ball. So before I'm going to paint my Christmas ball. Of course, I did a piece of twine through the opening because I want to be sure that if it is painted, I can hang it somewhere in my garage. But of course, I have here just a piece of twine, but you also can do a piece of a wire. So doesn't matter. I'm going to get my a little bit of a white color chalk paint, and I'm going to give it a nice coat. I don't know if I will have to need one or maybe two. I think I need two coats. So I do one thin layer and later another one. So in the meantime, while the first layer of my Christmas ball is drying, I'm going to get my basket and I'm going to do on the tops of each of every ball, I'm going to do a half wooden round like this, because it gives a little bit like a nicer look. So I'm going to get my wood glue and I just do on the tops, I'm going to place them over here, and I do this on all four of them, and then I'm going to let it dry in for only a couple of minutes, and then we're going to paint our basket, and I do it like I told you in the brown color. Oop, he's almost disappeared. But there he is. Today is just a DIY with obstacles because it doesn't go as planned every time as I hoped, but always DIYing is always trying and just see where it brings you. So I'm going to give it a couple of minutes and then we're going to paint it. So I'm going to start in the middle with my brown color, and this is brown which is not totally covering, it only gives a nice little layer, but the wood is still coming through, and that's what I like. So I'm going to go and take my time for it to give this the color brown. So I painted now the basket in a brown color, and I'm going to give my Christmas ball already the second coat of the creamy white color. So everything is drying at the moment. What I'm going to do, I'm going to have here 8 blocks and I make little sets of 2. So I'm doing some glue on the longest line. You see here the smallest, longest line, and I'm going to place them together. I do here the same. And this is one. We're going to make kind of a little changeable tags you can do on the side, because I do this one for the Christmas season, but you don't have to do it, of course, for the Christmas. You can do it also for different seasons. So I'm going to squeeze this one, and I'm going to wipe away the glue over here and here and here, and I'm going to make sure that everything is straight. I'm going to let this dry in. So I gave them a couple of minutes rest. I'm going to get my little kitchen paper with the paint, and I'm just going to make this, all 4 of them, in the green color, because I have green in the ball on top, which will be the balloon, and I have some red already on a couple of places, but not the green, and I want to let it flow over to each other to give every color their own place. So I'm going to paint this and we're going to let this dry. Here you see already we have now the base of our balloon, and I'm going to get myself a velvet ribbon. It's a little bit of the smaller one because I want to make a red line around my base. So I'm going to do some glue on one of the ending of my velvet ribbon, and I'm going to place it on the back side. Of course, you will see it in a moment, don't worry. I have to place it down. In a moment. I'm sorry if it takes a little longer because it's a little bit harder to see. Of course, I need to go down a little, and like this. So I'm going to go and I'm going to do some glue on the underside of my base, and I'm going to place my ribbon around it. So again, make sure I'm going to turn it this way. I'm going to do some glue over here to the ending, and I'm going to place my ribbon on the underside, and again make sure that everything is sticking nicely. I'm going to turn this over. I'm going to do the same on this side. Just make a small line. And we're going to place our ribbon again at the underside of the line. Again, make sure, feel with your fingers. And then we're going to already the last piece. And we're going to do some glue on the underside over here. And we place this one over it. And we're going to let it dry in. And now the last side, and of course you see already, we give it a little piece of overlay. And I'm going to cut off over here. And I'm going to do some glue over here. And a little longer. And I place it down here. This way. And I'm going to set it straight up again. And now you see the piece of a ribbon I meant. So I have here now the 4 little blocks I can use for maybe do some a little Christmas tree on top with some sticky gum, or maybe with some Velcro you call it. I didn't know what it was, but it is like we call here in the Netherlands klittenband. So we call it much different, but you can do also some sticky gum. You can do some little sign on here. You can do some Christmas tree, like I told you. You can do for the Easter a little bunny on top of here. For Valentine, you can do some hearts over here. So you can use this balloon for many seasons. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get some wood glue. And I'm going to do some on the back side, not too much. And I'm going to place this one on the side, and I'm going to place it in the middle. Of course, I have to look that I have it really in the middle, because we don't want that it is sticking somewhere we don't want to have it. So over here, and in a moment I show it you a little bit better. So, and this is how the underside is looking like right now. Of course, I think already it looks very nice. Now we're going to go further with the ball. So, of course, the ball is very easy to decorate, because you can do it any way you like. I place mine on the top of here, and I'm going to look for you always have a side which the two are glued together. At least I have here which one they are glued together. Of course, I'm going to take them in the middle, and I'm going to place one of the red one on top of here. So I'm going to do a little bit of my hot glue over here, and I'm going to place this one on top of here. I have to look for that I have it straight, and I'm going to give it some pressure. And of course, here will be one of the, on this side will be one of my poles, on this side, and this side. So I'm going to do one of the red over here, one of the red over here, and here, so they don't connect when I have my other pieces. So I'm going to do some glue over here, and it is a little bit hard to get it. Of course, I can hang it in a kind of a basket. It's also fine too. So I'm going to go for here. And now I'm going to do in the opposite direction. I do another one of red. But of course, I'm just going to do something. You don't have to do the same like I do. I think over here, I have to squeeze it and wipe away the glue. And now I'm going to do on this side the same. So you see, I did fill in with the red. It's no rhyme or reason, only make sure that he still can stand on your stand. So now I'm going to fill it in with the green one, and then the smaller one, the brown. So, and you see, this is how my little balloon turned out, at least, and I hope it looks like a balloon. We will see at the end. So I'm going to let this dry in. Of course, it's dry, but not the paint is totally everywhere dry. So I'm going to go, and I did find 4 of my wooden beads again, half beads, and I painted them in the white color because I was missing something on my stand. On the green one, of course, you can do something, you can change for the season, but I'm going to go for a white little half bead on here to let the white of the balloon coming back in the underside of my balloon. So I'm going to do some glue over here. I use some wood glue. I do a little bit in the middle over here, but of course you don't have to do it. You can change it for every season you like. So, and I'm going to place it in the middle, squeeze it, and we're going to let it rest, and of course we let it dry in for at least 10 minutes. So the last thing we need to do, we have to look like they have some ropes on the balloon, and I have already one example over here. I just get a little piece of my rope and I use this one with the red and the white. I like the coloring. I do at the ending, I do one knot. I will show it to you in a moment. Like this. This is already one, but I'm going to make a double as close as I can on the first one, so it makes a little bit more like a thicker one. What you also can do is just get a bead and do a bead through it and then glue it on top of here, but I like it the way this one. So you have now, you see, two knots on top of each other. I have one of the other one already, and I'm going to measure out how long I want to have it, and I'm going to cut it off. So I'm going to make 4 of them because we have 4 sides on our base. So what we're going to do, we're going to get a little bit of glue and we're going to glue this one on the side of the balloon, and then we let it run down on our base. I show it to you in a moment. I do first one on top and then I show you. It's better than I tell you. And this is what I did. You just see here a little knot. I just did a little bit of hot glue and I just glued it on the side of the ball. Then what I did is very easy. I will show it to you. I'm just going to go behind the pole and again behind the pole and also over here, and I'm going to let it hang in the little basket, all of 4 of them. And you see now I have all 4 of them have the same. So in a moment you see the quick impression, but decorate it any way you like because this is only an example. And you see finally a quick impression of my Tumbling Tower Blocks air balloon. And of course I had so much fun making this DIY. This was my first time making an air balloon for any season. So I am happy how this one turned out. Of course there are things you can do different. I hope you give this one also a try. And everyone who is new here, I hope you enjoy what you saw. And if you do, I hope you will click the red subscribe button, give it a thumbs up and hit the bell. So you will be notified every time we upload new DIYs. For more DIYs, come on over to the description box. There you find the link for the DIY channels. Hope to see you there. Have an amazing day. See you in the next one. Bye.